Hey guys, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not a YouTube content creator, but listen, I created some content for you. Thanks for clicking on my video. I hope you enjoy it. I hope this video inspires you to build something awesome. I created some cutting boards for the very first time, and this is just the process of that. I have a long way to go, but I appreciate your feedback. If you've got any comments, please leave them below. Otherwise, God bless you, stay positive, keep smiling. Hey guys, so here I am ripping down the piece of maple that I bought. I didn't have a plan as far as, I needed X amount of pieces of wood at 1/8 inch or 1/2 inch or whatever it was. I just kind of winged it. This board I should have planed prior to ripping it down. You can probably see right about there, there's a wobble to it. It was twisted, which in hindsight probably would have made my glue ups a little easier, a little more accurate. So you live and you learn. It's my first time. So here you can see all the wood that I've ripped down so far. I only ripped down a little bit of Purple Heart at this point, and then I'm just kind of putting it together. I didn't really have a plan. I just ripped it down a bunch of different widths and then thought it would be fun to just kind of wing it and see what I could come up with, see what I could create in the moment. And this was the very first board that I came up with. I have those 3 pieces of Purple Heart in there. These are all the boards, all 3 boards that I put together. You can see the different patterns. That one I did a graduating, from the middle going down. This was the first one that you saw already. And this was the last one that I put together. That was really just the leftover pieces, all the leftover pieces. And that actually turned out to be probably my favorite pattern out of everything, which is ironic. The other 2 I actually planned, had some amount of planning in terms of creating. And then the third one, which is this one here, just kind of came together the way it did in an ombre sort of effect. So here I'm just applying the glue. I'm using a roller. Later on in the video, you'll see that I'm gluing using other things like a foam brush, which I found was a little easier to manage than the roller. The roller, I wasn't ever really sure how much I was putting on. Sometimes I was putting it on too thick or too thin. I felt like I had better control with the foam brush. So this, you could see how uneven that is. If you look at the different heights of this is after the glue up. Very uneven on the top. I mean, a planer works wonders and is able to get rid of that, but a lot of that had to do with the types of clamps that I was using. Here you can see it's kind of on a board, on a sled. That's because the board itself, the actual cutting board, was not level, was not flat on one side. So you use a flat piece of wood that is flat and straight and not twisted, and you attach your board to that, you shim it up, and then you send it through, and that'll flatten that side, and then you flip it over, and then you can flatten the other side. So here I had my wife help me, thank you honey, for this glue up. I found with the first one that I just did it myself, and I really had to work fast because the glue was drying. So these are clamps that I was waiting for when I glued up the first one, but I didn't have them yet. So I figured I'd wing it with those type of clamps. So this really made a difference. When you clamp the ends like that, it really made a difference in the final glue up board in terms of it being all flush with itself. So that was pretty big. I've even seen guys put them several places throughout the board. So not just on the ends, but maybe 1 or 2 kind of in the middle. Here I'm just sanding off all the glue that I couldn't wipe off when it was wet, just to get some of it down before I send it through the planer. Here I'm marking it out. I've already sent it through the planer at this point, but here I'm marking this one out to be cut. And I saw a trick where if you want to eliminate or really limit the amount of tear out you have, just use painter's tape wherever you're going to cut it. Other things that can help is a 0 clearance on your saw. I did not create my 0 clearance insert on my saw yet, but I do plan on doing that. And that was my little guy helping to put some some tape on. He's a good helper. So you'll see I'm making each cut. I kind of pass it at least 2 or 3 times instead of just going all the way down once and then ripping through. I find that you get a cleaner cut that way. I've seen a lot of other guys do it, so I put it to the test, and it definitely cuts a little cleaner when you do it that way. So you can see I just took the tape off, and that's the board before any of the finishing work. But you can see there's really not any tear out on that. Maybe a couple little flecks towards the end, but really not much of anything. I really think that blue tape method really helps. On this board, you can see the blue tape is just wrapping around the edges. I didn't do the blue tape on the top because primarily if you're going to get tear out, the tear out's going to be on the bottom or at the very end of the cut on the edge. So I found that I really didn't need to wrap the entire thing, so I started just doing it on the underside and see what I come up with, and I found that was sufficient to minimize tear out. Yeah, I'm just trying to give you a bird's eye view. I'm just trying to get as close as I can without chopping my camera up, which is actually my phone. So I wanted to include this. You'll see that I'm taping this board down. These boards, this particular pattern, was a little thicker or wider at the ends of the boards and thinner in the middle. So it left, when you cut the board down, it left the boards not square. So I had to square the boards up. So in order to do that, I used that board, that piece of plywood there that I'm just going to remove, that I taped the board down to, that's got those arrows I just set aside. I use that as my reference because I know that side is a factory edge. So if you tape it down to that board, use that factory edge as a reference up against your fence, then it'll give you a perfectly square cut on the one side of the board. And then you just flip the board over and you're able to completely square that board up. These are all the boards, including the 3 small ones, which were really cut off pieces. Here I'm putting a 45 chamfer on all sides. Makes it easier to pick up the boards. Gives you a little something to grab onto. I also do put feet on the board, on all these boards, so the added height definitely helps to pick it up as well. There you can see the profile. So I opted to use a round over and round over the tops of all these boards. In hindsight, I don't think I would go that route again unless somebody specifically requested that that's what they wanted. It definitely included a significant more time on sanding because you can't just take the random orbit sander and go over all of those roundovers and expect them to stay perfectly rounded over and not have sanded down lines on them. So I think if I did this again, I would not round over the tops. Maybe I would just take a plane and just break the edge so that the edge isn't so sharp, and then call it a day. That's how I see a lot of boards are. Here I just made makeshift jigs that I can just kind of put the boards in there. They walk around a little bit, but they're not going to go too far. I did 3 different grits of sanding for these boards. I did 120, 220, and 320. So in between 220 and 320, you can see here, I don't know if you can make out what I'm doing, but I'm taking water and I'm just wetting the entire boards down. And what they say that does is it pops the grain, it raises the grain so that when you go to sand it with your final sand on 320, you'll break all those little fibers that stood up after you exposed it to water. Because otherwise, if you don't do this step, what they say anyways is that you run the risk of, as soon as you expose it to water, it pops the grain at that point, and then you have a less than smooth surface. So this was a little branding iron that I bought off Amazon, handcrafted by me. And I just wanted to put, a stamp on it, let everybody know who created it. This is the wax that I use. It's Howard's Wax It All. It's food safe. It's a combination of beeswax, carnauba wax, and food safe mineral oil. It says it actually exceeds the FDA standards for what's considered food safe. And I put it on really thick, really liberally on all sides, and then I let it sit overnight, at least 8 hours. A lot of times it was more like 10 or 12 hours before I actually wiped it off. After I've wiped it all down, I didn't take video footage of that, but after I've wiped it all down, I take this little jig that I made that gets the holes at the same spot in reference to the corners, an inch in from both sides, and I just pre-drill because I definitely don't want the feet screws to cause any problems of splitting. Here I'm taking that wax rag that I used to wax, and I'm just shoving some wax down in those holes just for a little added protection. Just giving it a good wipe down.
How, Dada?
What's up, baby? I gotta get the right tools. Need this one.
Here my little guy is giving me a hand. He is so hands-on and tactile that if he's out there, I really try to include him on steps that he can be included in on. I really don't think it's wise to have a 3-year-old around planers and table saws and miter saws when they're running, so I wait till I'm done with those steps until I start including him in on the process. So he's placing all the feet for me in the pre-drilled holes.
Yeah, I need a new battery. There we go.
I tapped it.
Okay.
I two.
Got that one in? Good. And I need one here and one here.
Oh, Mama.
So after I've gotten all the feet screwed most of the way down with the drill, I just take a screwdriver by hand and just go over them. Just make sure they're tight. The feet are rubber, the screws are stainless steel, so they should hold up really well to any amount of exposure to water. And that's really the final product. Give it one final buff, and that's it.
Oh Lord my God, when I in awesome wonder consider all the worlds thy hands have made. I see the stars, I hear the rolling thunder, thy power throughout the universe displayed. Then sings my soul, my Savior God to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art.
Hey guys, thanks for sticking to the end. Thanks for watching the whole video. I hope you learned something. I hope this inspires you to build something awesome. If you have any comments or feedback, feel free to leave a comment below. And if you're a woodworker especially, please leave your feedback below. If there's some part of my process in this build that you see I could improve upon, please let me know. I would love to hear your feedback. I'm here to learn. I'm here to build. God bless you guys. Enjoy your day. Bye.